What is episode 35?
What's up, shitbags? Welcome back, episode 35. This is great. It's great. Third episode of the year. We're going off strong. Hopefully, everybody really enjoyed the last episode. We got the civilian side. So with Andy, that was great. That was a fun time to do. You guys will have to let us know if you enjoyed that. We'll have one more civilian coming up. We got the law enforcement, the EMS. So kind of keep looking at doing some new things. Maybe even try for a live episode this year. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah. Thanks as always, guys, for watching. Thanks to our sponsors. Huge thanks. I mean, Taylor's Tins, Toxic, Crew First Cultures, Jobtown Graphics, all of them. Can't do it without them. Get some merch. Look out for all our updates. Anything else to add?
No, I think we're good. Yeah, get your sweatshirts. Get your sweatshirts, t-shirts, playing cards, where the fuck.
Yeah, we got lots of fucking things on there. So check them out. Get some stuff. It's always cool. Huge thanks to most of Jobtown and Taylor's Tins for putting those stuff together for us. But yeah, we'll stop blabbing. Let's bring in who people actually want to listen to. Let's bring in Jeff. Jeff, how's it going?
Fantastic. I don't really know if anybody wants to listen to me, but
they're listening to us.
They don't want to listen to us, so yeah, they're here for you.
Yeah, man.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Jeffrey Bryant. Work for the city of Aurora in Illinois, not Colorado. Been a fireman for 17 years. Been here in Aurora for 10. I just crossed across the floor last year and a half-ish ago. So now I'm assigned to the truck company in the house. I do a bunch of side work, I guess you would call it, but I don't really get paid for much of it. So, yeah, got my hand dipped in a couple different things, which I'm sure we'll kind of dive into. But yeah, I got a amazing wife for the last. Been together since for 15 years, married for 10. We got 3 kids together.
Awesome, man.
So, yeah, third generation. Living life.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna jump right into our questions that we got for you. So the first one that you kind of mentioned a little bit, you got your hands in there, but what were some challenges? And you could talk a little bit about just the good stuff that came from it too, about bringing back firemanship.
Oh man, challenges. Probably number one was Cody had this crazy idea that he wanted to offer it for nearly free, being $1, right? So I was basically like the boots on the ground guy, number 2, 3, or 4, however the hell you want to look at our rank structure. There is not one, so it's a free for all. But with him offering that, people got to choose how much they wanted to donate towards the cause. You could donate $1 or you could donate 1,000, and we got everything in between. I thought he was crazy, but I was like, cool, man, I'm game. But then it affected me because we had to build a lot. We had to build roof props. We had to do build outs. We had to pay for cars to get towed to certain locations, food, water. Well, actually, we got all the water donated. But I mean, basically anything that you would need, like last minute shit, screws, all this kind of stuff, odds and ends, lumber. That was probably the most challenging part because I had no access to how much was like in the account, quote unquote. Yeah. I just knew from the registration page, because we ran the registration page, roughly kind of how much we had. And then by doing, some dumb math in my head, I was like, it's pretty close, man. It's not looking that great. I'm not an accountant or anything like that, but I pulled out my fucking toes too, and didn't do that good.
That's awesome. What were some of the good things that came from Firemanship? I know Brendan was able to make it down there. We're going to be coming back. I'll be able to be there this year. Job change screwed that last time, but I'm really excited. I've heard some great things.
The good things was the culture, the vibe, the conversations, they got to happen. Like Brendan, were you able to make the pumper pull?
Yeah, that was cool.
That was an insane.
That was cool.
That was insane. Just, I mean, probably like 300, 500 people just pulling pumpers, and
it's kind of like the Fast and Furious. Everyone's gathered around.
Yeah, it was
see this
wild.
guy pull a fire engine, so that was kind of wild.
Completely wild. Completely. Nobody had control. It was like a mob action. But I mean, the city supported it. The fire department where I work supported it. So I mean, we got a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm obviously biased, but we got to have 2 parties in streets, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's such a cool environment, such a cool atmosphere. You're bringing in. I mean, we flew in probably close to 100 instructors from around the country. So I mean, you fly that in, plus you put in the students coming from everywhere. You get to have a lot of great, unique conversations. I mean, we had 2 guys came from Tijuana.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they spoke very little broken English, so trying to help them out, and stuff like that. It was all very, very interesting, and I think it was great for the fire service, great for my region, great for my city. All that stuff was really good for it.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
How did you get all that wood? I mean, I was out by the can confidence course and vertical vent. I mean, there was pallets of wood. How do you estimate how much wood you needed for that class?
So I got to give a shout out to West Chicago Fire Department, top-notch people. So I reached out to them because I had done a fire behavior training there years ago. So I reached out to them, wanted to talk to their training guy. So they have like 2 training guys. They have like one like office guy, and they have one, that's in charge of the training grounds. So dealt with both of them, and I said, hey, we want to do this. And they're like, oh yeah, we're going to take care of it. We'll build the props for you. We'll make sure we have stokers here for you and all that stuff. And I was like, oh shit, dude, like how much does this like cost? And they're like, oh no. We're bringing training to our place. Our people get to benefit by seeing it and being a part of it. So there is no cost. And I was like,
wow,
my man. So, so we purchased all of the lumber to build the props, and then they built them.
Yep.
Wow.
And then some of the stuff for like the can confidence and all that shit, we just kind of bought OSB and whatever else needed to be done. All the woods doors. I had a vacant house out by me that a buddy owned, so I went in there and ripped every single door off. That's where all the doors came from.
But, all right,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we're kind of a cool setup.
We've been talking about it. It's been pretty cool seeing like the Midwest kind of become a hub for a lot of these trainings. I mean, in the last just in the time frame that we've been in the fire service, there's become a ton of trainings and conferences and stuff that really come from like this Midwest area, which is cool. It's cool to still go out to the coast. You see them there, but you're hearing a lot of ones pop up in this Midwest area.
That's because the Midwest is the best.
I mean, there's no actual statistics behind this, but I almost want to say because a lot of what we do incorporates all of that. I mean, you go East and West Coast, firefighting can be totally different, but you get in the Midwest area, it's kind of everything in between. I mean, we'll see all of this stuff that a lot of places don't have. And I don't know if that's just what's kind of caused everybody to start bringing all their knowledge because we want to get it from everybody. But that's my speculation.
Yeah, and the other nice part, like for firemanship specifically, is we're kind of like the center, right?
Mm-hmm,
so we have two major airports, being O'Hare and Midway. So it's kind of an easy spot. And what other class did you do, Brendan, besides can confidence?
It was can confidence, and it was the vertical vent, the Colorado guys at the West Chicago.
Oh, so you stayed at the same spot?
Yeah.
I
I was
mean,
helping out with stoking and yard stuff there. with
Okay,
JD
yeah.
and them.
Yeah, I mean, we got like 20 training towers within an hour, probably at least to where I work. So
Wow. Yeah.
a lot of resources available.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We're dropping off tools and stuff to different locations, and yeah, there's a lot of training towers and stuff around there. I mean, we drove like all day, one day, dropping off stuff, making sure we got everything at every location, and it was cool. How much training towers and everything in that area was.
Well, I appreciate you helping out, dropping off, because man, I just finished cleanup like 2 days ago.
Jesus.
Really?
Yeah, like the last
A
little
lot of
thing on my
moving parts.
list. Yeah, the last little thing on my list went click. So yeah.
That's
Awesome.
crazy.
Awesome.
Still keep it on like the training topic. How do you bring back new training ideas to your department when you go to conferences like this or have times like this?
Oh man, it's a two-part answer. One, I do what every younger dumb individual with testosterone does, and I try to shove it down everyone's throat, and then it doesn't work. So I got like a really good mentor on the job, and he's a good friend of mine too. So I remember, took nozzle forward, did all this other shit, and came back. I was like, man, Minuteman's the fucking shit. It's the way to go, right? And then I don't know, him and I just got into like a good conversation, and we were like, he's like, hey man, going to training is good, bringing the stuff back is good. You can't change everything to be what you experienced, because like, for instance, right, like I think two really good engine classes, nozzle forward, right, which they do pretty much mostly, 100-foot Minuteman, right? Mm-hmm. I also think the Steve Robertson, Todd Edwards, Brian Brush and them, like the 100-foot bundle, right? That's also the shit. Like which one do you pick then? Which one's better? Do you time trial it? Like how fucking crazy do you get, right? Yeah. So what can I take from these classes and apply it towards what we do and make it better, right? So like basically we run like a 200-foot flat load, and I'm just referencing this to the engine class, right? Yeah. So we run a 200-foot flat load in a 3-stack. So your stack that you can shoulder is like 60-ish feet, right? So it's basically a 60-foot Minuteman upside down. It's flat and Minuteman are the same fucking thing. It's just it's the orientation. So basically you can do an accordion forward and a backstretch literally the same exact way. So I started doing, and people were like, oh man, that's pretty fucking cool. Let's see that. And then you show them and it works out. And so that's something you can apply. You go and take a ladders class and you see where the guy at the tip is doing a high shoulder and the guy at the bottom's doing, an arm's length carry, and it allows you to throw it faster, right? Oh, hey, here's a little thing. Like we're not actually having to physically change things operationally or with cost, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
That's always a win for admin, is when cost is nothing. And yeah, if it's something too that you can adapt, that isn't a policy, that always helps too, because people fucking panic whenever policies need to be updated.
Yeah,
true. Very true. Next one, going back, not necessarily to training, but another thing that you're very passionate about, and that we've heard you or seen you speak a lot on. What are some tips to balance work and family life?
Oh shit. Well, fuck up really bad at it for a while, and then your wife will have a coming to Jesus talk with you, and then everything will get better after that. As long as you listen. Right. Well, everyone needs like the talk. If your work-life balance is fucked up. So my wife probably hit me the hardest with it. So I do the Fire Nugget stuff too. So like event planning and all this kind of shit. And she hit me one day, she's like, hey, how come you can like plan all these cool conferences and stuff, but like you haven't planned like a family vacation for like, 2 or 3 years? And I was like, ooh, you got me there. Yeah. Okay. So just kind of being intentional about actions and making sure that they're a priority of the day, you know, and just knowing, like, I used to be like super, like, if I have this XYZ task, it has to get done that day, almost that hour. Like, it was that bad. But now I've like learned to, hey, relax. The email will still be there. I can respond tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, I've almost gone too far the other way now, because like sometimes when people call me, I forget to call them back completely, and then they're like a week later, they're like, "Dude, I called you like last Tuesday," and I'm like, "Oh shit, did you leave me a voicemail?" And they're like, "Your voicemail's full," and I'm like, "Oh well, I'm just a shit show. Sorry."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I mean, we've talked about a lot with a lot of people on here of trying to balance that, because especially once you get really passionate into this job, there are so many conferences, so many things you could go out and be doing, and it's not hard to get lost in all of that and not finding that balance. So being, like you said, purposeful, I think is a huge just first step to even try and prevent from getting that talk.
Yeah, and I mean, the other two things is, you know, when in probably, you know, 40, 50, 60 years, when my life comes to an end and I go in a box, right? The people I meet at conferences aren't going to come check out my fucking gravesite.
Yeah.
You know, whereas my family will, I hope. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. They always say work will replace you, your family won't, but you know, it's something you got to keep in mind, keep that balance. I think that's one of the overlooked best, maybe not necessarily overlooked, the best parts about our job is the time off that comes with it. Yeah, we work a lot, but you've got, you know, at least by us, I know when I was there, I'm sure it's probably the same by you. It's not hard to find a guy to take a trade, go take a weekend with the family, you know, and utilize that stuff. You don't got to always be locked up at work. You know, you got that opportunity. Not many places that do it. You can't find a desk job that you can find someone to come work your 9 to 5 for a couple of days so you can go, you know, take a vacation. So
Yeah, no, we definitely have a benefit over others, and the nice part with like teaching for Cody is for Cody, family 100% comes first, and he won't allow it. So
that's awesome.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Next one we got here, then we'll get into our generic questions that we kind of have for everybody. Is what is your favorite firehouse tradition?
Oh man, pizza Saturday.
Pizza Saturday.
Yeah. So if you guys have me on the Book of Faces, we just did family pizza night at the firehouse. So every Saturday night where I work, every Saturday, we make pizzas, homemade from scratch. We make the dough ourselves. We make the sauce ourselves. I mean, we don't go out and, you know, hunt down the fucking sausage, you know, but everything is handmade. And then from time to time, we'll have the family over. So we just had all of our families at the firehouse, and we have 8 of us are regularly assigned. And then we have the BC, so 9. And then we had two extras. So we had 11 families at the firehouse.
Yeah.
So it was pretty wild.
That's cool. I mean, all your families get to meet each other, you know, great relationships like that. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's awesome. We make a pie per each guy. So like you make your own pizza. Like the dough gets spread, the sauce gets put on, and then literally everybody at the table is like, "All right, man, what do you want on there?" And it's like, "Oh man, meat, onion, jalapeno," and then you throw it all on. So some dudes will down a whole pie. It's pretty incredible. But
that's awesome.
Crazy.
That's a fantastic tradition.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Brendan's got the rest of the questions for you now.
This is pretty much the hardest one. So we don't got no backstory on it, but why are we here?
Service.
Take it. Service.
Yeah. So any which way you look about it, right? So life is about service. Whether you look at it spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, however the fuck you want to look at it, right? It's about service. So like for me, my job in life is to be of service to my family and to my job in the community I work for. Right. So those are my 2 services. Just like you guys right now are doing a service to your listeners, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a service to be on your show, right? So like every single thing that you do, like every job. Oh man, I'm going down a fucking rabbit hole here.
That's
but
good.
Perfect.
Go
Keep
down.
but
going.
like any job that anyone has in the world is a service for someone else. That's how the world works, right? So like, you know, when you fly a plane, right? Like a pilot has flight attendants that serve the people. There's mechanics in the back that service the planes. The pilot services the customers by flying, right? So I mean, it's just a cascading effect. So for me, answer is very simple. It's of service. And I think if a lot of people thought of it more that way, and life is about giving and not taking, we have way too many fucking takers. And they're fucking scabs, man. But takers is what ruin it. Just people that are fucking self-serving, only think of themselves rather than giving back. And in the fire service, we say to the mission, right? But in general, in life, is, you know, you give back to your fellow man and woman.
So I like that answer.
Yeah,
Different.
absolutely.
I like that. Awesome. Next question here. Where did you discover your passion for training?
Oh, I think I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Hell yeah.
So, you know, third generation, my grandfather, the town I live in, my grandfather was the chief for 10 years. Well, kind of towards his end of his tenure, they started what was called the Amboy Fire and Extrication School. And so they would get a bunch of cars donated, would have, 2-3 extrication classes, 2 or 3 fire related classes, and then, you know, like 1 or 2 EMS related classes. So like when I'm, you know, I think I was 7 or 8 years old when they had their first one. And I want to say there was like 200 or 300 like local firefighters here just cutting up like 100 cars. And just kind of seeing that. And then like the EMS class, it was either their first one or their second one. I was a live victim for their like EMS class, like a person trapped in a car, right? And they like get you out and shit. So just seeing the magnitude of it, the teamwork, and I mean, were you guys ever volleys or paid on call?
Yeah,
we have
both
paid on
started
call.
there.
Yeah, yeah. So just, I mean, dude, like back then, in the 90s when this would have happened, you know, the volunteer fire department was it was butchers, it was barbers, you know, farmers, you know, it's like all these dudes are wearing all this different kind of shit, just putting their gear on over it, you know, and just getting after it and training, man. It was an awesome thing to see, cool. And it's kind of stuck with me.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right. What piece of advice were you given on day one that stuck with you?
Oh man, there's a lot of different pieces of advice, and it depends on what day one too, because you know I work like a volunteer, paid on call. Listen to understand rather than listening to respond.
Like that one.
And what I mean by that is when somebody's telling you to do something and why you do it, you actually listen to what they're saying and understand the background of it and the history. That's another problem that we have too, is people don't understand the histories of things that we do. Rather than, you know, like when you're a good recruit, like, yes, sir, you know, if you just say yes, sir, blindly, and then you're like, what the fuck did he tell me? Like a minute later, like, well, then you weren't listening, man. You were just at attention, you know, ready to respond, you know? So
I like that one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's important. I mean, like you said, there's a lot of listen to understand or listen to respond is how it just goes in the everyday. Because we've talked about before, if somebody comes up to you and asks, oh, do you know how to do this? But you've seen it, you know, 3 times before, you still say, oh yeah, I do. And then you understand, you sit there, you wait because maybe they do something a little bit different. Maybe they have a better way to do it. Like, instead of just Yeah, sitting there waiting, like trying to let them basically get through their whole thing, and then okay, are we done? Great. Like actually wanting to learn and hear from the people is going to give you the best, because like you said, mentioning or knowing that history is half the battle, knowing why we do these things.
Yeah, and it's typically the young recruits that are actually the worst at it, which you would think it's like vice versa. Like you're in something new, they should be listening to everything you have to say, right? Like the old timers, like, you got one mouth and two ears for a reason. Shut the fuck up, right? But it's the complete opposite. They're terrified and nervous and stressed out and shit because they want to do everything right. But really, fail stands for first attempt in learning. They're meant to fail, right? Like they're meant to fail and then to have slow successes as it goes on. But if they don't listen and understand what the fuck's even going on, they're just going to fail from the start, and then they're going to be even more stressed out the second time.
Yeah, I see that a lot. I think failure, allowing yourself to fail, is a good thing, and that's how you learn.
Cool. Talked about that a lot, being willing to fail, because those senior guys that are showing you these things, they're not necessarily doing it because they know everything. They've just failed a bunch of times and have learned from that. So like, if you can come in and learn from their failures already, you're still going to find a way to screw up. Everybody does, especially when you're starting off, especially even when you're 20 years onto the job. But as long as you learn from it, you're going to be setting yourself up in a good position.
100%.
Awesome. The last generic question that we got for you.
This one's going to be a little biased, I think.
And or trainings do you think every new firefighter should attend?
Oh man, honestly, it's a two-part question. You gave me two options, right? Conferences and classes, right? Oh man, so I'm fucking totally biased for the first one. Okay, firemanship is a completely different vibe than anywhere else, but you have to do the whole experience. You can't be like, oh, it's in Chicago, let's go to a White Sox game and watch them go, 25 and 115, for the record, or whatever the fuck they finished at. It was terrible, but like, you got to be there for the experience, right? You got to come out to the socials, you got to get to meet people, have conversations, things like that. As long as you take in the culture of the conference, I think it's the best conference out there. Now there's some other total fucking kick-ass ones too. I've never been to it, but I hear good things, and my buddy Dustin is a high up guy at it. But Massey, right? Mile High Fire Conference, Bay Area Fire Conference. I mean, there's a shitload of. There's one we're working on right now for Boston. I think it's gonna be pretty fucking kick-ass too. So, but classes. See, this is a two-parter, right? Yeah. So I think Nozzle Forward is probably the best engine class out there. Okay. This comes with a caveat. I think there's 3 to 5 outstanding engine instructors that if you can, you should take a class from all 5-ish. There's obviously more, but I think these guys kind of own it. But when it comes to methodology, ideology, it's Aaron Fields, right? So his program kind of knocks out one. I think if you can either take his lecture or learn from Ramagus, from a fire attack portion, like Kyle does the whole package. He can do from the rig to the seat of the fire, but his fire attack stuff and his cruel intentions class is second to none. Jay Bonifield to kind of round that out for fire attack too would be another one that just kicks ass, man. There's a couple others, but I will totally fuck up and just keep on stringing out a bunch of names. But I'm gonna leave it with those 3 for engine related ones, and then search related ones. It gets no better than Justin McWilliams, Cody Trestrail, and he's one of my best friends. But Nick Ledeen. So those are the dudes. Nick's the nerd behind the computer, fucking talking in your earpiece, right? He's like, don't forget to search behind the door, if you got an earpiece on, and then Justin's the rogue captain.
Oh my God, yeah.
You've always wanted.
Mhm.
You know, like he kind of reminds me of. Oh my God. Oh God damn it! I can't remember his name. Yeah, the backdraft lieutenant for Fighting 17. What the hell's his name in the movie?
Oh,
I
Why are we all
suck at
trying-
names?
why are we all
fucking
trying to
suck
think on
at-
this? Man,
I can
just
see him in
shut
my
the
mind,
episode
but
down.
I can-
Shut the episode down. We failed.
Yeah, I know.
No, exactly. No, his profile pictures have
Bull?
been like killing me.
Stephen McCaffrey. Stephen
Yeah,
McCaffrey.
there you
yeah,
go.
yeah. So he kind of reminds me of him. And then, you know, Cody, and obviously these three are like good friends of mine. So I'm totally biased. But and then Cody just kind of rounds it out, man. His beliefs, you know, in mission first, drive and stuff like that is just second to none. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff too, man. Like I think we fail a lot when it comes to like training because we are like, oh, we're gonna do engine company ops for an 8-hour class, and it's like, dude, that's a lot of shit in like 8 hours, you know. Like we can go over like nozzle mechanics, we can go over, you know, fucking attack packages, we can go over stretches, we can go over you know, appliances, advancements, fire. Dude, I can go fucking
It
on.
goes on and on.
Yeah. So we mess up with that too. But I mean, there's a whole bunch of other guys out there, force entry, vent, ladders and stuff. And I mean, I'm totally biased with a lot of those as well. But
yeah,
if you want to know who to have, just ask me. All right.
We've had the pleasure of having Ladine on. We met him a couple times in person. Mick Williams is hopefully going to be on. As you can imagine, he's a very busy guy. So he said check in with him later on in the year. Hopefully he can make it work. And I think Cody's the last one that we'd have to get on here. But man, we've seen McWilliams present when he came up to Sawdust, and that was just entertaining. I mean, there's so much stuff to take in. There was so much great information, but also it was just you were glued to it. I mean, you couldn't look away. It was great.
It was like a second class in the bar with him.
Oh
His
yeah,
socials. He was in a whole new class. It was awesome.
Yep.
I learned more things in the bar than I did in the actual class.
Yeah, probably my favorite story with, and we can go down sidetracks, right? That's cool.
No,
absolutely. Okay. Yeah,
absolutely.
Right, cool.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, so like we did like a fire rescue survey ambassadors academy down in Florida for Chief Ike. So McWilliams and I had the portion on training and operations, right? So like, how can you take this data and apply it to training and operations for your department? So like him and I both have taught it together and separately. It was just unique because we had never taught together in a lecture before for that. So like the day before, we're up in our penthouse suite. You know, we got taken care of, and he's like, all right, let's go through the PowerPoint. So we put the PowerPoint together before we got there, and like half of it's his, half of it's mine, and you know, we're kind of going through it, and I lead off like my presentation with a joke because it mellows me the fuck out too. And it lets me gauge the crowd with like what's appropriate and like allowed. Like if there's a guy with like 3 to 5 bugles in the back and his mouth drops, like I'm like, oh, can't go there. Got it. Okay. You know, or if it's just a bunch of firefighters in the room, you know, and they're laughing and loving it, right? It gets them into the zone of, yeah, man, this guy is like one of us, right? So I lead off with a joke, and like he doesn't physically do it, but he theoretically like slaps me in the fucking face, and he's like, no jokes, and I was like, what? And so I have to change completely how I do it. Right, we do it, and then like he gave me shit for one other thing that I did. I forget exactly what it was. But then, like, you know, the fireman in me, I'm like, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm gonna find something that he fucks up in. So he said like, right, like, hey, you know, we're finding victims within 6 foot of an exterior door, right? And I was like, are you going to the right or what's going on here, Justin? And he's like, oh, dude, you crushed me because now I'm gonna think about it every time I speak. am I saying right? You know, so just little fun nuances. He's a great dude.
That's cool. Yeah, he's a great.
What
dude.
what was the joke? You get it?
Oh, I don't know, dude. I say anything. So he wasn't at this one, but we just did one in Richmond, Virginia. So I think there was nine of us. So like Brian Brush, myself, Nick Ledeen, Justin Lorenzen, Jonah Smith, Jason Marshall, our data guy, Katie Hufker. She's also a data gal for us. I'm trying to think who else we had there. Anyway, right? We each have like our own portion, and they're like, "Hey, since you're on training and operations, you should go last." And I was like, "Last, dude! Everybody wants to go and hit like the bar and shit, you know, and get food.
Yeah.
Like you're fucking me, you know, like." And so anyway, while I'm going last, I get a chance to see everybody else's presentation, and it like dawns on me, I'm the only fireman in the group. Besides Katie, but Katie is a Stanford grad.
Oh, no shit.
So I open up with a joke. I'm like, hey, listen, folks, I'm one of you. I am not an officer, and I did not graduate from Stanford. And it just kind of let off, you know. People thought it was funny. I thought it was good, but
that's awesome. Yeah, well, that's all the generic questions that we've got for you. We have the two last, where basically we've got a question from our previous guest, which was our first civilian episode. So he's got a comical question for you. It sounds like you might have a good answer based on your tradition. You might have dealt with this already. But and then the one after that is going to be your question that you're going to have to come up with for the next guest, which is going to be Dave Gillespie of our good old friends up north in Canada.
Oh.
So, but the question from our previous guest is, how do you tell someone their cooking is shit?
Oh, man, I'm a terrible chef, so this is easy.
I am too.
Yeah. Basically, you don't allow them to cook at all. And then when they have something in front of them, just be like, oh, no, we got that. We got that. That's the polite way to do it. Other ways to do it is to tell them outright, we're a pretty savage industry. Like I got kicked out of cooking basically for making tuna salad, which is tuna, a little bit of celery, and some mayo. I put too much mayo in it, so yes, it was a fucking
three ingredients.
It was tuna soup. So,
well, I fucked up noodles, so got that going for me.
Did you forget the water?
I cooked them a little too bit, and I made like starch soup. It was weird, fucking weird.
What kind of noodles?
It was for like beef stroganoff, so those kind of twisty noodles. I don't fucking know the actual name, but yeah, it all got fucked up somehow, some way. I fucked up dinner that whole night.
Well, what does Andy the civilian do?
He's in construction, so he's my soon-to-be brother-in-law. He's listened to every one of our episodes from the time that we started. So he's very into it, very actually invested in like the community and the civilian side. He does a lot of the leadership things and very interested in public safety. So he's got a couple of buddies there in the fire service as well. Then I came in. His one of his daughters dating a cop now. So like he's got all these insights. He wants to know everything about all of this. But yeah, it was a pretty cool episode, seeing what kind of he thought of us as the fire service and what he sees as the civilian side and what he expects from us. So,
what were his expectations? Because you guys confused the shit out of me. I rage listened to last night's episode that you dropped because I'm like, oh man, my question's gonna be in here, and then I was like, these fucking guys, they're hoarding an episode.
Yep, we do 1 month at a time. So each time you're gonna not hear the guest before you. So yeah. But he expects us to basically do our job. You know, he saw a lot of similarities in just the normal civilian side world and us, where you go to work, you got to do your job, you got to be good at your job, don't be a shitbag. He likes and do our job. If there's people trapped, go get them. If there's fire, put it out. If there's problems to be solved, we do it.
Who would have thunk?
Right?
Unbelievable,
right? It's crazy.
So simple, but we take an all different world.
Yeah, it's fire department on the side. So problem solvers. They expect a brain surgeon, rocket science engineer when they call 911, and then we show up. So
I did not graduate from Stanford.
Yeah, I did not.
No. So yeah, that's all the questions that we have for you. So now the last thing is for you to come up with the question. So,
oh man, well, number one, we gotta make up some time here because I apparently been sipping on this monster too much. This is a faster episode than I thought, so we gotta make up some time. And two, what does this guy do? And he's from Canada, right?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, he's in the fire service. I forgot what all ranks. Actually, his bios, everything's going to be posted out here. We met him when we were down at MAPC, actually, and he's part of Rick George's group that does the tactical resiliency. So I remember from the time we were down there, he's done a lot. Yeah, he's been a firefighter, he's been an instructor, training officer, lieutenant, captain, battalion chief, division chief. Like he's done it all.
Done it all. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, since he's done all that, what position was his favorite and what position was his least favorite?
The one with the more paperwork. That would be my answer.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, he's, like you said, he's done everything. I remember from when we were in the resiliency course, he was talking, he's got a real passion on like dive and swimming as well. His kids are all swim instructors. They have a cool program they do where they put on a lot of swimming classes for like kids that are at high risk. I think he said it was either the lower income, the homeless, he's any way that he can help people, he's found out a way to do it. And he's gotten a lot of positions through it. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. Well, what else do you guys got? Anything?
Well, the last part is what we call the kitchen table. So one thing that I kind of want to give you some more opportunity to talk about is the registrations, I think, probably filled up. I don't know how many classes you got available still, but talk some more about firemanship. We'll go in on that, why people should be looking for it. Maybe if they don't get in for it this year, looking for it next year. But
yeah, so all of our 2-day hands-on classes are sold out.
Awesome.
The spouse track, which is for, your spouse, obviously, that's what I call spouse track. But that one has about 30 spots left. That was a huge hit last year. People loved it. And then we also got some room in hydrants and nozzles with Dennis Laguerre. He's got a big room that can fit probably about 100 people in there.
Damn.
And then as far as other hands-on classes, there's not a lot left, if I'm being honest. We got less than 10 spots in the fire behavior, which is a live fire flashover recognition chamber. And then the other half of that day, you'll be with Elkhart Brass going over system of the stream.
Cool.
Machinery rescue with Andrew Broussard and those guys. They gave me a super easy logistics list, so I love them guys. Mayday, which if you've ever heard of the legend called Chief Bob Hoff, he teaches that one. So I would 100% say you should go there and take that class because I don't know how long he's going to be around teaching. And that dude's a fucking legend.
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then other than that, we got 2 specialty courses being some tower rescue and rope ops.
Cool.
And what's it called? Swift water rescue refresher. And besides those, all we have left is workshops.
Yeah.
Which workshops, it's a weird term, but it's basically a lecture on the day that we do hands-on. So we got like a thermal imaging one. Shannon Stone and Scott Thompson are together on one.
Nice.
Corley Moore, Dennis Riley. So that's what it looks like. And then our main lecture series, which is 3 days right in a row. Did you make it to that, Brennan?
I did. Yeah, we sat in a couple of them.
Yeah, in that spot, the fucking shit.
That was awesome. It was a big ass theater thing. I thought it was an orchestra or some shit, but it was awesome.
Yeah,
that
so
was cool.
So that seating capacity is over 1,500. So our goal has always been, to be in the 500 to 1,000 range. And then that way our helpers and red shirts and instructors can still be there too.
Yeah.
So we're going to start releasing who's going to be there instructing so that we can kind of get a little bit more into the main lecture series. Because that's just, especially with it being in the theater there, it's a completely different vibe. Like they have like these like the showcase things with the fucking lights around it and shit that are lighting up and stuff. We put our schedules in there. So it's super cool. They have bars everywhere. You get to drink there. It's just a cool vibe. We get to deck out the stage. We put a couple of forcible entry doors up there. We put some hose bed props up there. What was your favorite presentation, Brennan?
I liked the vertical vent guy. I think the Colorado guys, I think they did a lecture there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Justin McWilliams do one.
Yeah, he like hand plucked like 10 people out of the crowd and just started like dissecting their questions, which I like that one. That was good. I think we're gonna do again. I think we have to.
That was a good one. I was kind of in and out at that time. We were, like we said, we were kind of setting up the training grounds and stuff. But yeah, I kind of stopped in. We listened to one or two, left, came back. So we're kind of over the place, but it was a cool vibe there, like you said. I like the 30-minute. I think they had like a 30-minute talk time, and you changed or some schedule like that. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I like the Grabs podcast we did live. Those were pretty.
Yep.
Yeah, those were pretty. Like for me, that was cool and fun to do.
Yeah.
I liked Chief David Rhodes though. He did a really awesome lecture right at the end of the day.
Yep.
I think we learned our lesson though. We can't give Chief Ike like an hour only to like close out the day. That's like giving like someone that's like pissed off and like, they say eat a Snickers, right?
Yeah.
and like all you do is throw them a fucking snack size Snickers you get for Halloween. It only like calmed him over just like a little bit,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a cool lecture series.
Yeah, I'm really excited to come down and check out Firemanship. If everybody listening, we've talked about there's so many conferences to go down and go and see, but yeah, if you weren't one of the ones that got in, look for it next year. Still some openings. Find them. They're out there. No matter where you look, you can find a conference. So they're awesome. But yeah, that really is all we got for you. If you got anything else to shout out, anybody you want to shout out, any more conferences, anything, this last time is yours, and we'll wrap up whenever. We are after we learned from the legend Bobby Eckert. We don't try and push time with our episodes. We did that the first time we brought him on. We were just yapping, trying to keep the time going on, and so we have to bring him back on because we apologize and was like, you got to come back on. We feel so bad.
Yeah, when we do our shows, like Nick and I host it, and then we have Lorenzen and Rothmeyer help us too, and that's like we have everything from, I think our shortest is like 38 or like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And our longest dude, we just interviewed Chief Jerry Tracy from the FDNY.
Okay.
He talked for 3 hours, man.
Jeez. It's like Blatz. Banana.
That was
banana.
Yep. We had Blatz on. We had Blatz on when we were still doing like the 2-hour-long episodes, and yeah, it was Eckert, his video that we were talking about it, where he was like, if it's longer than an hour, I don't even click on it. So we're like, all right, let's flip the tables a little bit. Let's try and do some shorter, quick hitter episodes.
Nice,
man. I the hour mark is good, so people can having like an hour drive to work, they can listen in one drive, not like 4 drives, like a 4-hour episode. Because I listen to a lot of podcasts too, and it's like 5-hour episodes. Like holy shit, it takes me like a week to finish.
Yeah, man. Joe Rogan and Sean Ryan, they take me forever.
They take me forever. And I mow lawns in the summer, and it takes like an all-day episode with like a Sean Ryan show. It's like, fuck, man. I forgot what you said the first hour.
Yeah. Yeah. So for like the kitchen table talk, I'm not gonna promote one thing because then it looks completely biased. But I'll promote the other thing, and it's right here. So the rescue survey. If you make a rescue, document it. If you have a rescue, hit up the Grabs podcast. Do a Grabs podcast. The team is out and about. We're doing a whole bunch of cool shit. I think Nick and I are going to New York in April. We're kind of traveling all over the place. McWilliams travels all over the place, just kind of getting the message out. And it's pretty simple. We just want to have rescue be the objective rather than safety and 2 in, 2 out, RIT, all that kind of jazz.
Absolutely.
And grab your book, the Book of Search.
Yeah, mine's in my bag over there. Yeah,
man, what a great book! I think it's probably one of the.
There's a lot to digest, and it's free. Yeah, you got the hardcover copy. Oh, my finger, hardcover copy. You can get on Amazon. Just be sure you're not getting scammed. I saw Morris put that out that it didn't take long for people to be putting up dummy books, but yeah, so you can buy the hardcover. Otherwise, it's free. You can download it anywhere. It's fantastic. It's a great thing for the fire service.
Yeah, no, and Corley and them, they're donating those proceeds to us. Mm-hmm. And to be quite honest, we have no idea what the fuck to do with it. I mean, we have a new I don't want to call it a database. We have a new dashboard. That's the other word I was looking for. We have a dashboard that'll be coming out probably in the next few months. It'll allow you to click your state, and then if you want to look at what rescues were made in bedrooms in your state, you can click on it. It'll show you.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's pretty rad. So yeah, man, I would say that's really what I want to promote because I think it's doing fantastic things.
It really is.
We just hit 4,000. We'll probably hit 5,000 in a year or less, especially with exposure. More departments signing on. Like we have multiple large departments: Charlotte, Oklahoma City, I believe Wichita sends their reports to us. We're working on, LA County. Talk to Chief Mo Davis. We're going to have a meeting with him and talk to some things. So once we kind of get the big pieces to fall, we can kind of start getting a lot more going. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on, for sharing some knowledge. I hope people, not only the fire rescue, but Firemanship, check it out. And yeah. Anything last to add before we wrap her up?
No, thank you guys. And this was fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for coming on. Thank you guys for listening. You guys are the best. We couldn't do it without you guys. So as always, don't be a shitbag.
Thanks for coming on, man. Don't be a shitbag.